flying on into the newly decorated city center. Hopefully being able to land without taking any damage. Oh, and seen underneath everything. Oh boy, hopefully I don't fall into the world. And I landed safely. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Minecraft Survival Series. I am your host, Dr. Banana, PhD, and it is so good to be back. I'm just admiring the work that was put into this place last episode while I'm standing inside of the coral flower beds. I am such a fan of these little touches. It really brings life to this area in a way that is unconventional. I'm so happy with what we accomplished last episode, and I hope to keep the ball going. And in this episode, we have updated to 1.20, finally! That means that we have access to the new cherry wood, bamboo wood, chiseled bookshelves, and sniffers, along with really cool cosmetics such as armor trims. I am so interested to get started working with armor trims. I honestly have no basis on where to go off of in terms of the aesthetic of the armor, but I'm excited to try. Let's not forget pottery shards that we can make our own custom pots into, and camels! To fully take advantage of this update, there is a lot to do. Hopefully a few farms to be constructed, such as a bamboo farm. Then we'll be able to mess around with all of the new blocks and hopefully add to this area with more buildings or at least more decorations. Now, why don't we get started? And first off, what we're going to do is finally start a map of this area to put it into our tower. Specifically, the map room that I built for this purpose, finally updating it. So, why don't we get started with this center point? Open up that map and let's take a look. Yes, very interesting. I do like it. Very cool. I'm just kidding, you can't see it. Neither can I. Let me flip this around and take a look. Oh, wow. Oh, goodness. That is so neat. Oh, you can see the different color coral right there. What a beautiful pattern that's making. Oh my goodness. And look at the spire. Look at the spire up there on the map. That little X pattern. That is so neat. Let's go over to the edge to get another map. Another map time. Here we go. And this is just the wilderness. Nothing too special. Let me go over to this section so we can fill in all of the map. There we are. Going over this way to get this map. Let's see. Boink. Very nice. You can see the edges of the flat lands. The work in progress flat lands to the actual wilderness. Such a large difference. Let's go in that corner to fill that in. Perfect. Now that we have those maps, why don't we warp back into the tower to place these on the floor of the map room. Up and away we go. Who did this? My goodness, was it, where'd I put him? Was it you? No, it wasn't you, but it was probably your brother. I will add his head to the shelves if this happens again. That got dark, I'm sorry. Let's go on in and place these on the ground. Get these item frames all squared away. And find our maps here. We only did 3. Alright, so we'll have an empty one. Perfect. I can't see where to put this. There we go. That's better. Alright, let's see. That's gonna go right there. Flip that around. Nope. That is going right here. Beautiful. All right. Where's that one? That one is right here. Nope. That is not there. That is right here. This one is right here. There we are. And this one is there. Perfect. I think I will just go fill this one in just so that it's not empty. You know, it's a little funny how small it is. It may not look like much right now, but this is the start of the mega base, and it's going to be sprawling and huge. So I hope the map will actually come out to at least here, and hopefully even more of the floor. We'll put a little border, little decorations. We're going to do it up. It's going to be very nice. You know, while we're here, why don't we try to make some of the new chiseled bookshelves? As you can see, I do already have some in my inventory here. It was a little weird trying to unlock the recipe to make this. As you know, you get items in your inventory and then the little thing pops up. You can unlock the recipe and make it. I had no clue how to do it. I know that you made it with the spruce slabs, but nothing was happening. I think I just needed to get my hands on some books in order for it to come up. But now, we know how to make it. Why don't we try to do so now? I get some of these items here. Let's make a little bit more. Let's make a bunch of these. Why not? Because I have an entire room dedicated to books. That's not nearly enough. When we get some more. Boom. There we go. That should be enough. Let me show you the magic of these guys. Now up in the office level of the tower with a bunch of bookshelves everywhere. Why don't we try to get these new bookshelves in? I have a texture pack that makes things 3D, as you can tell already, that these, let's see, trapped doors, what are these, trap doors? Yeah, there we go, are 3D, a little bit of a 3D indent right there, along with the bookshelves have a slight 3D indent. So, why don't we play around and get some of these guys in here? I don't have the texture on, I lied to you! Okay, now I just installed it, and it's here, look at that! Look at that deep recessed cavity. Oh, that's so cool. Just a minor little detail. Very nice. Now that shows an empty bookshelf. Finally, we have something like that. Let me replace all of these with that. Boom, boom. Perfect. Look at that. And now for the final touches, we get to add the books into here. Wow. These allow you to place the books in a special configuration. As you can see, you get to select the exact book that you want to place. Boom! And it could go in all 6 slots. Isn't that incredible? Time to replace all of these looms with the chiseled bookshelves. Just installed all of the new chiseled bookshelves in place of the looms. And I gotta say, it really adds so much more depth than before. Well, I do have the texture pack that gives it depth, but so much more variation for the books, and it just looks so much more complete. And I feel like it tells a story as well. You can actually see books that you can remove, and you can actually remove them. Maybe in the future I will have some written books and other enchanted books in here. I'm not quite sure if the enchanted books give a different texture. If so, I'll have to put those into other bookshelves just to vary it up and change it up. But I'm very happy with this new block, and that I implemented it into this library. Now that we have that all squared away, why don't we explore more of the 1.20 update? Flying on over to where I believe the Cherry Grove is. I'm so stoked to find this and get the new cherry wood types. And just to see the biome itself, I'm so stoked. Oh, here it is as it loads up! Oh my goodness. Look at these new trees, I'm so excited. Oh, and the petals, the pink petals on the ground. Wow. What an awesome new biome this is, as I try to touch down without dying or taking any damage, and I did it! Just take a look at this new biome. Oh my goodness. These new trees, these new pink petals, I love these pink petals. I get all 4 when I break it? Oh, that's incredible. Oh my goodness. I don't think I brought enough bone meal. I wish I brought some more. Luckily, I have the cords for this place here. So with those cords, I can come back and set up a little... Oh, look at that. Little beehive. I set up a little farm to get as much as these as possible. Or maybe since I have these, I don't need to come here. I could just set up a farm at the main base. Let's go up this little hill and look at the grove in its entirety with all of the different styles of cherry grove trees here. Man, I just love it. And I love these little particles that are coming down. I love particles in Minecraft. Such a great little detail. I'm just going to show off this area with the texture pack that I have turned off, so you can see the texture on its own. And even this texture on its own, it's beautiful. Oh, I love it. So full, so pink, and I'm just throwing pink petals everywhere. I'm just so stoked to finally get this new sapling, this new tree type, this new wood type, everything. Oh, it's so amazing. It turned to nighttime and I forgot my bed. I have been fighting off the monsters of the night over and over, as you can tell with the arrows in my head. This has been quite a tranquil and peaceful fight for my life. It has been so hard, I've come to the brink of death so many times. I think I am just gonna have to wait this out until the daytime so I can get all the resources that I need and then leave, because it's just too dangerous here to try to walk around and try to fight off the night. So I've tried to light it up the best way I can, just around the top, make my little mountain of safety with this cow right behind me to protect me. Or I protect the cow. At this point, I'm honestly not too sure. It's the dawn! The dawn is here! I've been saved! Finally, the sun and safety is out, let's get to chippy choppin', and I unlocked new recipes, yay! Let me get some of this. Fantastic. You know, these bushy leaves are a nice addition, but when chopping trees, it can get kind of difficult. After a little while of resource gathering, look at our spoils here. I just have half of the shulker box filled because I can always take these saplings over to my other tree section, get them all planted, and do a big grind there. That's actually what I have planned to do. So let me take my current spoils, which I think are good enough, and before we leave, why don't we make a, already have that box in there, a lodestone compass teleportation. So we're going to take our netherite ingot. This is pretty expensive, but it is definitely worth it. Put that away and get to crafting the lodestone. That's how you make one of those. Take it out, and then looks like I need to get my compass. Where did I put the compasses? Here we go, in this box here. You get to see the whole process. Oh, I don't even have my anvil out to rename it. All right, just give me 1 second. Okay, renaming it Grary Grove. There we go. No, Cherry Grove. Grover. There we go. You know what? Let's keep Grover. That's fun. Cherry Grover. We're gonna put this guy right here. Cherry Grover. Perfect. Compass acquired. Now let's warp on out of here. I brought all of those cherry saplings back over to my wood section over here, right next to BlvckMvrket's base. And as we can see right behind me is where I put the mangrove trees. After several minutes of planting these trees and chopping them down, here are the spoils. We have this box here and that box there, all of the wood and all of the pink petals. I'm very excited to work with these pink petals. They are a very interesting little block to place and try around. All of this wood is going to help me in a future build. Stay tuned. Speaking of chopping trees and getting wood, let me take you to another section. And here is the other section. I have been growing a bunch of these oak trees next to a bunch of these flowers on this grove biome, this little grove area. We are right here. This is right across the way from the mega base, where I have the beacon set up all the way down to bedrock to get a bunch of the deep stone, deep slate, everything of the sort. If you plant trees that are next to flowers in most biomes, then there's a chance, 5% chance, that they will spawn with beehives. I've been doing that over and over and over. As you can see, they are accumulating. And as a byproduct, I've been getting a bunch of the oak wood, which is always good to have. And the reason why I'm doing this, you could probably tell I'm wanting to work with bees. Specifically, I am wanting to create a little bee shop right over there. Speaking of right over there, you can probably tell something's different. Let's go way up high. I created a bunch of flat land by extending this area here, placing a bunch of dirt. I think I placed thousands of blocks of dirt. But it gives us a nice flat area to get some builds going. As you can tell right over here, this is where I stopped. I'll probably extend this later on in the future, but there's really no reason to at the moment. And you can see a little sneaky peek down there, what used to be the regular land. I've made sure to light up everything so that this does not become a dangerous, unintentional mob farm. Let's take another fly ahead here. Extended this out that way for potential of extending this road. And for placing buildings over here. So I'm planning on having the bee farm be right here and 2 more buildings over on this side, which will remain a secret for now. Okay, after many, many hours, this is the state of the bee forest. There are so many of these beehives on every single tree, and that was by design. I kept chopping down every single tree that I saw that did not spawn with a beehive. It was a lot of work, and this is where we're at. Of course, you can see a few trees that don't have beehives, but they're kind of difficult to chop down. At least that one isn't, but we have a whole collection of large trees over there that are all together. Two of them have beehives, one of them does not. It's right in the middle. I am not going to fuss around with that. So many of these have these beehives, some of them don't, but I am at a state of completion with this. I feel very confident with what we have here. I feel like this is plenty of beehives. Now we are going to get to chopping. I have got actual little beehives. These are bee nests, technically. I have beehives here that I've made out of the honey from the little bee farm that I have back at the main tower, and these campfires here. If you put a campfire underneath a beehive, that will pacify the bees. You can take down the beehive with a Silk Touch axe, and they won't attack you. Also, the Silk Touch axe helps to get the campfire back as one solid thing without it breaking into pieces. So we're going to take that, put the campfire there. This smoke pacifies the beehive. Chop down the beehive there. You can take some damage from walking into the fire, and then place the campfire back, or the, not campfire, what is this? The bee nest, the beehive, there we go. And then take that back because bees can also get damaged themselves while walking into there. So we're just going to slowly take care of all of these here. And also remember to breed up a bunch of bees so that they can fill these beehives. I'm going to do that with every single one of these, and then we'll have enough to fill the upcoming build of the bee farm. Over there somewhere. Oh, the bees are coming out. That's nice. The spoils of the bee nests are in. These two boxes here completely full with bee nests. Or actually that other one is the only one that's full, but this one is mostly full. Took a long time to generate all these bee nests, and most of them are full with bees. I'm not entirely sure how to check. I could download a mod later on that shows me the bee levels. I thought I had one, but apparently I don't. That would be very useful for this upcoming build. But I'm happy with the amount that we have here, and I have some more stuff in my inventory. This is what I need to get started on the bee farm, right over at this plot. And also, what you can probably tell is that I added some of these sidewalks here to these roads. I feel like it makes it much more complete, and it is in line with the color palette and the texturing of this main central walkway. I wanted to do it a little bit differently, just to signify that this is not the central walkway hub, that this is going to different parts of these buildings here. I guess the buildings that will show up very soon, just to differentiate between the outer portion and the inner portion while still keeping in theme. And why don't we have a little sleep? Let's get a nice aerial view to the roads, or the sidewalks. Take a little fly around. It really completes this road and sidewalk. Look at that. It just feels a little bit more put together. Let's do a soft landing here. And now that we have all of our items that we need, let's get started with a building time lapse. And now, with that, the building facade is done. As you can see from behind me, let's turn around, take a look at this building. This is the bee farm, bee and honey and wax farm. Let's take a little walk around the outside. This is one of my favorite features right here. This little pipe filling up the tank of honey. I had this idea a while ago, and I was just waiting. Oh, you can see them coming out. I'll get to them soon enough. I was just waiting to implement this idea in a build, and now I finally am able to. With a few of my performance mods that I have installed, it makes rendering transparent items a little wonky, a little weird. But when I do a little tour with the shaders on, I think that will change that, and you can properly see this illusion right here. Let's go inside, see these bees that are going back and forth. This is the entranceway to the building, just funneling you down into here, and here are the farms with the bees. Over on this side, I have the wax collection. Oh, here they come, and here they go. The wax collection all piles up in here, and as you can see, it's quite efficient already, pumping out a bunch of honeycomb. And over on this side, this is the honey. I don't need honey as much, so I just have this smaller little section, but it's producing a good amount of honey so far. I gotta figure out a place for glass bottle storage, and just do the interior in general. I want to put a place for glass bottles to show that glass bottles are being filled up into honey, a place for the honeycomb, maybe a whole section over here dedicated to honeycomb. Some decorations are much needed in this design. Maybe some candles and everything. Really want to do that to bring it all together. We go in here, and this is the little kind of glass house to hold the bees. I put up these glowberry vines to hopefully, eventually, sprout some glowberries there, just for a bit of light, and to add some life to this area. You may be wondering why it's sectioned off. Let me take a look. I don't think I showed you the outside. Let's not jump the gun. Here's the outside of the building, and I really like how this turns out. I'm a big fan of the white stained glass. And over on this side we have, falling down to the bottom. And over on this side we have the honeycomb. Honeycomb stained glass section that I made with the orange stained glass, and some honey, and I think it works very well. Alright, now let's go back inside. This is the entrance door here to the side. So the reason why this is sectioned off is because this is where I will be breeding the bees. This design I've seen from Exuma Void on his Hermitcraft series. I think it's season 6. But over on this side, I'll have a row of beehives that are all full with adult bees, and there will be no flowers over on this side. And on this side, you breed them up. You don't brew up bees. Imagine that. You breed up the bees, and the baby bees are small enough to fit through these gaps, but the adult bees are not. So on this side, there will be plenty of flowers for them to pollinate. This technically counts as flowers for pollination, so they'll cross over into here, and there will be available open bee nests over on here. So when they eventually grow up, they can't go back because they're too big, then they'll funnel into an empty bee nest. At least that is the idea. So I am very happy with this build, and I'm very excited to continue to furnish it and get everything all together. The decorations to the bee house is all complete. Let's take a little look. I added a lot of flowers along the side just to give it a lot of life. Some signage there going on. I haven't edited the sign yet. I'm still kind of coming up with some interesting names, but I just wanted to really add much more life to this build. We have some of the honeycomb in these little baskets / bins on the outside to really fill the space. And I try to get creative with some scaffolding and the new bamboo trap doors to make some temporary little scaffolding things here, or to make it look temporary. This will probably just stay here, but tried to make it just ramshackle. I don't know if that's the proper word to use, but like I just pieced it all together to showcase a few of these beehives, bee nests out here, and to put some of the double high flowers here to really fill the space, give some color, give it some life. Haven't added anything here just yet. That will be a project for another time to really make it all feel lived in. I still gotta add some of these flowers here. I can do that now. Let's see here. Do that. Perfect. I ran out of bone meal, unfortunately, but I'll just bone meal some of this here. I will do a lot more landscaping when I have much more buildings and pathing out here as well. And the bees are out while we go inside and take a look at the new decorations. Boom! This feels so much more complete and lively. So let's take a little look. Over here we have a little candle making station. This shows you what goes into making candles, and here are a few candles that have just been made. That's why they're not lit. But all of the lighting in here comes from these candles on these little perches, little platforms. Sconces? Candle sconces of the sort. The bees are out. It's setting time, sunset time, so they will go back into their hives right now, apparently. Here are little storage and workstation area, little mini blocks to tie in the feeling. I love these little mini blocks so much. I think the mini blocks are just cute in general, but the functional blocks like this beehive, bee nest, and the beehive there, I think are just incredible. They're really, really cute. We have them perched on these little shelves with chains going to the ceiling. I just love the chains and these shelves. Such a nice little detail. We have them all along the length of this building here. We got another little mini block of the honeycomb. I just love that little thing. And here we have a little vat of liquid honey. I love it. I put a little bit of the shroom light down there for some additional lighting, so it's not too dim and gloom in the nighttime. And I just really like the texture. I feel like it goes really well. It's kind of similar to honey and honeycomb, so if you happen to look down there, it doesn't look too alien. I like it. And now let's check this out with the complimentary reimagined shaders. And I gotta say, this really adds a lot of ambiance to this place. I put these in the glow item frames, and I think it's really cool how they just stand out like that. Of course, this really shows how bright the shroom lights here are. But that's okay. I like a nice vat of glowing honey. Maybe I can do it with this vat. A few of the performance mods that I have are making the rendering on that a little weird. We'll get that figured out at some point. But I just love the nice warm glow of all of these candles on the inside. Why don't we take a look on the outside? Man, look at that view. I just love that view with the shaders on. Take a look at the outside with all of the nice warm glow of the lanterns. Man, this is lovely. Maybe I'll do some type of lighting feature in the central little circle right there. Oh yeah. That looks great. It really adds some depth and dimension to there. I do have a texture pack that gives 3D trapdoors, of course. And that looks really good on the bamboo trapdoors. Wow. Why don't we take it all in? Look at these very nice shadows, the shading, and the warm light. Ah, looks so good. Yeah, needless to say, I am very happy with this build. But it looks like that is all I have time for today for this episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of the 1.20 update. I had so much fun exploring it, seeing all the new features, and putting them to use in this build as well. And the future builds to come. It's going to be over on this side right to the left part of my head. Well, my right, your left. And I'm so excited to get those builds up and coming in the future episodes. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you later. Goodbye! Not this time. I'm very excited to plus.